Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is the GW Panther. It's the Tier 7 German SPG, located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka. This one is under the command of talon1958. Well, as you may know, Talon's in competition with Angelina75, and the winner of the competition gets the weekend lie-in on Sunday morning. This is Saturday night, and yes, he sent me this replay earlier today, so he's still trying to get the weekend lie-in because Angelina's in the lead at the moment. She managed to get a second class, a bruiser, and a Confederate, which puts her in the lead. And she's also got a better win 8 than Talon, and those are part of the conditions for winning the contest. You have to get the highest category of classification. So a second class, they both got a second class, they both got bruisers, and they both got Confederates, but Angelina got a better win 8 on her game. So that's why she's winning at the moment. Okay. We've got a T71 CMCD hiding behind the rock, but instead Talon's going for the T3485 over behind that rock. He's got to lay the shell behind him if he can. Rounds out. Long flight time. Well, it's actually not a long flight time because it's half the width of the battlefield. That was my mistake. Okay, he's got a VK3002D. That's the one with the 88mm gun, the second version that Daimler put out of the Panther prototype. Look for the tracks, and the tracks will give you a clue as to where to aim. Yes, if a tank disappears, you can normally see signs of where they were if they're laying tracks down on the ground. As you can see, there's tracks laying behind the GW Panther, but of course the enemy Arty wouldn't be able to spot it. He's relocating after most shots just to make sure that the enemy Arty can't get at him. Being in that corner of the map, there's a good chance the enemy Arty might try to fire in his direction. Oh, the enemy team's got two VK3002Ds. Rounds out. Okay, well, unfortunately, it looks like he missed the VK, but oh, the enemy Hellcat just died. He's got a VK2801-105 up there. That's the premium version of the German light tank with the 105mm gun. Always fun to play that tank because of course you can just drive up quickly to somebody and derp them in the rear. Or if you're very, very good, you can take an aim shot with a 105mm over long distance, almost like an Arty. Lost sight of them. In fact, one of our team, a VK2801D, is 2801 with the 105, has actually gone down into the dip. And looks like their 105 is trying to get at him. There he is, line up the shot, rounds out. Long flight time for this one, 3.8 seconds. Yeah, it did land where he was, but unfortunately he wasn't there anymore. So that didn't quite work out so well. In fact, our guy's still down the dip, but now he's being attacked by a Skoda. Yeah, we're having a quick look around. There's the Skoda. And there's a Comet moving over to the dip as well. And I think our 2801 is now in trouble. Yes, he's gone. In fact, actually, the Comet fell into the dip. And it looks like Talon's trying to get a shot on the Skoda. Lines the shots up, fires, and long delay before the shell arrives, unfortunately. Okay, we've got a T3485. We've been asked to fire at him. And he does get hit, loses some hit points, and he got stunned. In fact, he's pushing forward. Probably won't work out so well for him. Rounds out, and well, it stunned him, and he lost a few hit points from a near miss. Now Talon's relocating a little further over because the enemy team is getting closer. Instead, he's actually aiming at the VK3002D. That's the one that he fired at a while back. That 2801-105 has actually made it to this side of the map. Now, work out where he's headed. Okay, he'll slowly maneuver in that area because he doesn't want to get exposed. Rounds out. Oh, brilliant shot! He penetrated the side of the VK2801. That was very good, that one. Okay, enemy Comet. We should be able to do some damage to this guy. Except he's fighting it out with the Leo. Well, unfortunately, we lost the Leo, but at least the Comet got stunned, and Talon's picking up stun assist. And there goes the Comet. Okay, T-78's made a deep dive into our territory, and he just took out our T-3485M, but Talon's looking elsewhere. He's not looking at the target. You should be focusing on that T-78 and the Skoda T-25 that's actually supporting him. There he is. Now let it dial in, let it settle. That's it. Rounds out. Oh, we got a direct hit and wiped him out. So he claimed the Skoda, and that's 2 kills now, but he'll have to change position because he might have been noticed and the Skoda might have actually passed that information on. So you have to keep relocating, otherwise the enemy Arty will probably have a go at you. There are 2 enemy Artys, an Su-14-1 and a Hummel. Okay, all of our team seems to be coming back to this corner of the map. And that's not very good because effectively it's taken away the eyes from Talon. He now needs to, well, basically he needs to pull back a bit himself because he's not be able to see those enemies until they suddenly appear out of nowhere. And here's one of them, the VK3002D. He fires them round in, gets them stunned. That's the other Arty on our team, who happens to be an AMX13F3AM. Okay, we're almost loaded. Rounds out. Looks good. Yes, direct hit. And the enemy VK goes down as well, so he's out. And the enemy Arty is firing in this direction. So I think they've worked out where we are. And now he's going to have to keep moving after each shot, otherwise he will become a target. They're looking in this area because that shell was fired up this end. I think they know somebody's in the corner. He suddenly sees the Super Hellcat come out, fires around in, stuns him, tracks him, and he's picking up damage assist. And oh, that was the enemy Arty. That was close. That's what I mean about relocating after each shot. Yeah, the enemy Arty can see where he is, or knows where the general bounce is, and we can see where one of the enemy is as well. He's on the west side of the map down at the bottom. Okay, we're 2 up on the enemy. At this point in the battle, our team should be pushing on the enemy. They should be heading south. And it looks like Talon's picked that up, but I don't think his teammates have to a certain extent, except for the T-28 HTC, who is moving. And you can see the shells, the Arty shells arcing out of that area. In fact, their Su-14-1 just killed our VK3002M, our Panther prototype. Well, Talon suddenly realised there's a T-78 up near the railway line. He was spotted over there. And he's coming towards our cap, and all we've got at the moment at the back is the AMX-13F3. None of our tanks have actually gone up there. Well, we do have a Wizzy 131 GFT who's looking at his mini-map and suddenly realised that he needs to be looking in the opposite direction. Rams out the attack Jackson. Oh, he got a kill! So he's got the Jackson on the enemy team. That means there's only 3 enemies left now. The 2 Artys and that T-78. Now, as far as we know, the T-78 is up in the north end of the map, and it's just the Artys down south. And so that's good reason for Talon to move as far south as he can, quickly as he can, and for the AMX-13F3AM to do the same. Talon's having a quick look over at the railway line to see if he can spot that T-78. No, nothing yet. Okay. There's one of the enemy Artys, the Su-14-1, making his way over from the west side. He must have been over there. And he's trying to line up a shot for him ahead of... Oh, and he fired. Unfortunately, so that shell didn't do anything. But that means now there's only 2 enemies left. The Hummel and the T-78. And we think the Hummel is down the south end of the map. Now, it doesn't look like the Hummel's on the west side of the map. He's probably over by the railway line. They haven't found him yet, but I think they're about to find him. If he's over in that corner, he'll be behind the bushes in that corner next to the railway line. We've got 2 in the cap now, or 1 in the cap. Now it's 2 in the cap. And they found him and he's gone. So we did lose one of the tanks though. The T-28 HTC got shotgunned by the Hummel. And now Talon's making his way right down into the... right on the border of the west side of the map. Now that might protect him from an enemy T-78, but you look at the score at the top of the screen. You can see the T-78 only has 12 hit points. So he must have taken some damage after we last saw him. And we can see that there's 4 left on our team, 1 on the enemy team, and he's only got 12 hit points, so he's a splash kill. Now our guy's capping, the Wizzies just found him and killed him with 1 shot, and that's a victory for our team. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the 2nd class tanker for talon1958 in the GW Panther. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11 in that one, or is that 10? My eyesight needs checking sometime. It is 11. And his win rate was higher than Angelina's. He got 2,333. On Angelina's last game, she got 1,755. So that would have put him in the lead if he managed to get a Confederate, but he didn't. Which means that Angelina is still leading with her 2nd class tanker and her Confederate. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to the Jackson, but he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool, so he didn't get a high caliber. 2,167 to him, 1,991 went to the T-28 HTC, and 1,846 went to the Wizzy 131 GFT. Talon picked up 1,603 hit points of damage, and all of that was more than any of the tankers on the enemy team. The best they could do was one of their VK3002Ds managed 1,406 hit points. When it came to kills, it was actually the T-28 HTC who did the best with 4 kills. Talon picked up 3. The Jackson, the Wizzy 131 GFT, the Sturmill and the VK3002M all managed to get 2 kills apiece. And the VK on our team managed to get a Lebeslayus medal. None of the enemy team managed to get medals, but their T-78 did get 3 kills, the same as Talon. So that puts him in joint 2nd place, and the Hellcat got 2, which puts him in joint 3rd place. When it came to base XP, it was the Wizzy 131 GFT who did the best. He got 1,274. 884 went to the Jackson, 857 went to the T-28 HTC, and Talon managed to get 838. He fired 14 rounds in that game, got 4 direct hits on the enemy and 1 penetration. That penetration must have been the VK2801 because that shell went right through his side. Yeah, it was actually. You can see that now. 1 penetration right through the side. 600 alphas. So obviously if he'd scored as much as 400, then it had to be a pen. He also got 9 splashes on the enemy. 1,603 hit points of damage. And all of it was done at more than 300 meters. Damage 2, received 2 hits by way of splash damage. So there was 2 enemy splashes, 2 enemy Arty rounds. Came close, but didn't do any damage to him. 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed. So I'm afraid, yes, he did miss out by 1 tank. If he'd actually not killed one of those enemy tanks, he might have actually ended up with Confederate. I think we can tell. Did anyone actually get a Confederate in that game? No. But usually it's the one who scored the highest who actually did. And he's got a 4 and 2, so it's not him. And maybe one of the enemy RT. 6-1. So yes, he might have actually got a Confederate if he hadn't killed as many tanks as he did. So I think it's unlucky for Talon that he got as many kills as he did. Although it's nice getting kills, but sometimes not getting kills can actually help you get a medal. And when it came to stun assist, he got 805 hit points of stun assist off 7 stuns. So if he'd actually got a little more stun assist, that might have earned him a first class tanker, and that might have put him in the lead. 34,607 credits from the game. After repair and ammunition resupply took away 18,901 credits profit. 1,257 XP for the battle, times 5 for the first victory. 2,514 for completing a mission and events, 8,799 experience points altogether. So we'll just briefly go over the armor profile of the control that. Going over the armor profile again, this is a Panther tank with a Arty gun on top of it. You can see it's basically got Panther armor but slightly thinner. 50mm on the upper plate, 30mm on the lower plate. It's very thin, easily penetrate this, no problem at all. The gun shield is probably the weakest. It's only 16mm of actual armor. It's strongest at the front where it's only 30mm, but at the back area it's 16mm. So you always aim for the gun shield because it's the easiest to penetrate, and then you can obviously damage it. Let's have a look at the modules. Okay, looking at the modules, you can see the driver's on his throne, on his own up front, on his throne. Yes, he does have a throne, yeah. No, he's on his own up front, sitting in front of the engine with the transmission in front of him. And then a big fuel tank over on the left-hand side of the vehicle. The radio's on that side as well. He's kind of apart from the rest of the crew. We've got the gunner on the right-hand side, the TC's on the left-hand side. 2 loaders sitting behind the breech at the back. The ammo racks are on either side of the vehicle, on the shoulders of the vehicle, so they're actually not in the actual gun shield area, they're just below it. So if you want to get a big bang, you aim just below where that little turret is. If you want to get a fuel fire, you'd have to aim at the left hand side of the vehicle, because if you aim at the right side you will actually hit the engine. But you can see it's much easier just to aim for this gun shield to damage this vehicle. And if you want to get a module, then you can easily hit the engine or the driver up front. Well, I hope you enjoyed that replay. I'm afraid it means that Talon is still not in the lead. It's still Angelina in the lead. She's going to get the lion tomorrow morning if Talon cannot find a better replay than this. It's a really good contest because every week they send in 3 or 4 replays apiece, and everyone likes to see who's actually going to get the lion, because of course you win it outright if you get an ace tanker. Straight away you've won it, and Talon has done that, and so has Angelina. They've won an ace tanker just like that right at the start of the week, and they've got the victory. But it really does make it quite a contest when you're desperately trying to better your score to beat your partner so you can get the weekend lion, and then the other person has to get up and look after Remy, their little boy, as he runs around the house playing with his toys, opening doors, switching taps on, and just generally causing mayhem. I hope you enjoyed that replay. Please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and of course please do let other people know that we're actually giving all of the revenue from this channel to the Red Cross Ukraine appeal to help the refugees, so the more of our videos you watch, the more money we can send to them. Thanks for watching.